Hi, welcome to this week's My Thoughts vlog. It's Saturday the 16th of August, and as usual, this is just my thoughts, no one else's opinions, unscripted and raw, unedited, etc. etc. This week, just wanted to touch, I guess, not so much on what's been happening this week, but more some of the questions I've been asked before about the dad and his service. Things like, I get asked a lot is, do you blame your dad for what happened? My disabilities. And that's an easy one because no, I don't. I don't blame him in any way, shape, or form. And I guess many of the veterans' families don't either because they were sent there without knowledge. They didn't know what they were going for. They didn't know the effects of the radiation. I mean, if someone told you that you were going to a place that's going to potentially damage your family for generations to come, you wouldn't go. You'd resign your commission. You'd just not do it. So that's an easy one, isn't it? I don't blame Dad at all. Um, did it affect our relationship? No, no. He was my dad at the end of the day, and he wasn't even in the RAF when I was born. He'd gone. He left. So yeah, it was. I was a child. It was a while before I learned that he'd been in the RAF, and I just knew he always liked aeroplanes. Um, so it didn't really affect our relationship. It was a good relationship, and especially towards the end, before the Alzheimer's started to take his mind, we talked quite a lot about Maralinga and his time in the RAF, and for the most part, it was really good. And he even enjoyed Maralinga because, like I say, they didn't know what they were getting involved in. They didn't know what effect the radiation would have. Some people knew. Um, so who I do blame is the people who knowingly sent them there, knowing full well, we have documented evidence that they knew radiation would harm them, and that was part of the plan because they wanted to see the effects on equipment, stores, and men, both protected and unprotected. Their words, not mine. So yeah, they're the people who I blame, and I suppose I also think there needs to be more accountability, to this day, because no one's ever said sorry to the veterans or the families. No one's even admitted liability. If we were any other nuclear nation, that would have been done, and a while ago. Not the Brits. No, can't admit the MOD's wrong, can we? Their good name dragged through the mud. Can't be having it. You have to suffer while they stand proud. Wrong. And you see this kind of refusal to admit things are wrong happening time and time again with the MOD. I mean, look at even the Chinook case has been in the news again this week, and rightly so. A test pilot has come out and said that basically the flight was a show trial. It was a show flight because the army and the RAF were they grounded the aircraft, and the MOD were basically saying fly it. So they were ordered to fly it, which is crazy. Even the pilot himself said he'd rather take a Mark One Chinook and not the dodgy Mark Two. And I believe there were two Pumas on standby to do the job as also. But also, the other thing that I heard mentioned was if it was airport to airport or airstrip to airstrip, you probably didn't need a rotary aircraft. A fixed wing aircraft could have done. So you could have used a Hercules. But no, they wanted to prove that that thing was airworthy, even though the experts said it wasn't. And they gambled with lives and they lost. But it wasn't the MOD that picked up the pieces, was it? It was the families. And they're still picking up the pieces to this day. It's horrendous. I mean, with the person who said this aircraft needs to fly, maybe it could have been okay, put your wife and your family and your children and your mum and your dad, put them in that aircraft too. You still want to fly it? I guess not. And all the evidence of this is probably locked away in secret because they've locked the files for 100 years. So if you wanted to bring a case, I believe there's a case for corporate manslaughter there, isn't there? Being reckless with people's lives without justification. It fits the bill perfectly. But I suppose all the evidence has been locked away for 100 years, which is typical of the MOD, because what do they do with a lot of the nuclear files for the nuclear test veterans? Locked away. And our blood records are still locked away. I still haven't got an answer on Dad's medical records. They are still forcing the point that they want this document that I can't get. So it's kind of a de facto blocking, isn't it? And I'm not the only one facing this. A lot of veterans and families will face this. So they're kind of getting their way. But the fight isn't over, is it? We carry on. We'll get there in the end, because basically what they're doing, I think, is illegal. You can't do that. We have the right to those records. Mum has the right to Dad's records. So yeah, they're acting against the law. Sooner or later, that will come home to roost. We intend to make sure that's sooner. Anyway, that's probably all for today, I think. But to end on a good note, a week today is the day I move. So it's been one hell of a chaotic week, hence why I had to do this today and not yesterday, because I was at our new place doing stuff yesterday, meeting the contractor and stuff, and it's all taking shape. It's all looking brilliant. And yeah, so it's going to be a busy couple of weeks, but I'll try and keep these on schedule. Friday, if next Friday, could be dodgy. Might be the Saturday. Oh no, Saturday's move day. I don't know. I don't know. I'll try and get one done at some point anyway. But until then, it's still beautiful weather out there, so there's still plenty of time to get out and enjoy it. So yeah, let's enjoy that weather, and I will see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.